Hello everybody, my name is Ian Kirkpatrick. I'm an author and robot, and today it is the first day of the month, the first video of the month, which means it is time to share your guys' stories that you sent in for the prompt last month. So I'm looking forward to it. But before we get started, number one, if you enjoy what I do on this channel, please remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, let me know if there's anything that you'd like me to cover on the channel, book reviews, topics, whatnot. Let me know in the comments, and I will see about what I can do for you. Number two, if you would like to be featured on this channel, check out the links down below. We've got LMIAY, the new prompt is up, and then there is the fresh meat feature. And number three, if you would like to check out anything that I have written, they will be linked down in the description below. Boom, boom, boom. Just hit the shelves if you would like some kind of satire about a YouTuber. So there is that. With all that said, let's go ahead and get started. The prompt this month was a story about why people have felt an eerie feeling in or around a supply closet. I'm really looking forward to this, you guys. You have no idea. Well, I guess every month I am, because I'm like, especially when I have like some really weird but oddly specific prompt, you guys always surprise me and I always get so excited. The first entry is by Egao Chan, and it is called Boxed In. Kathy did not quite remember how she got here, but she remembered that this was a room that she used to come to quite often, to place the redundant office supplies, to put low-priority files when there was nowhere else, and sometimes, admittedly, ashamedly, to cry when there was no one around. But at some point, for some reason, she stopped coming here, and the reason for this change was another thing that escaped her memory. Could this be a dream? Maybe, quite possibly, Kathy could feel a similar sense of detachment, general numbness and weariness she felt when she was in her dreams. And it seemed just like many of her other unpleasant dreams, she could not move a muscle other than those on her forehead and in her tongue. She could not even feel her arms or legs. It seemed her dream of inaction and paralysis had gotten way worse than before. Was it the stress of work, or was it the self-doubt she constantly felt? She didn't know. Though she could vaguely recall she was about to do something exciting with a handsome and kind of wild guy she'd met earlier. Maybe she would remember when she woke up. Hello? Anyone? Kathy tried to call out, but no sound came from her mouth or throat, and it only resounded in her head. For some reason, it seemed that she had lost her ability to speak in this dream or even make a sound. The supply closet in the room looked strangely tall from her angle, especially the one standing right in front of her, where all the boxes of old folders, tapes, and staplers were stored. Anyone? She tried again, but could only hear her voice in her head and not out loud. Nothing came out of her mouth or throat, not even a breath of air. She's beginning to wonder how she could wake up at this point. Usually, if she did something drastic or terrifying, like jumping off a building or hurt herself, she would wake right up and find herself sweaty on her bed. But those don't seem like options right now. There was a light breeze blowing on her face. The airflow into the room seemed unimpeded, an indication that the door of the storage room was open. It was strange because, per Kathy's experience, due to the layout of the floor, this door could barely stay open without something wedged in the gap due to the airflow in the office. Dust rose from the shelves inside the closet right in front of her with the wind. Had nobody cleaned this place? Faint footsteps came from the outside, and she approached the storage room. Within a few seconds, she heard a concerned voice asking, "Hey, Sam, what happened? Did you fall? Are you drunk again?" Who the fuck is Sam? Did no one know my name in this corporate office of dread and bore? Kathy scoffed. "Look at all this mess. You'll get canned if they find out," the same voice complained, and Kathy heard the sound of someone picking up pieces of paper, plastic wrappers, and some other soft and slightly crunchy things on the ground. "How long would it have taken you to clean up? Ugh, what the hell is this?" The voice came closer to Kathy, and for a brief moment she saw the face of a tired, middle-aged man wearing an old and dirty cap staring down at her. His facial muscles froze in shock. His eyes opened almost as wide as his mouth was, brown and crooked teeth inside, his tongue curled up but unmoving. "Fuck," the man cursed and backed off, and seemed to have tripped on something and fallen onto the ground while he was screaming. His body banged into something wooden with quite a force, and the vibration and shock even seemed to have bounced Kathy up a little and changed the direction in which she was facing. The supply closet moved to the side in her vision, and something new came in. Something white, fluffy, and kind of crunchy. A yellow cardboard paper folded and extended into the air with an angle, and pieces of white, fluffy, cylindrical things. Packing peanuts. How could she not tell? She used to deal with them almost on the daily basis. And the vibe in here, the atmosphere of this is really good. This feels like a segment of a story as opposed to the full story. But I'm like invested. The suspense in here is great. The tension in here is great. The dialogue in here is supernatural. And not an we're all ghosts kind of supernatural, more in the it's very natural to read and the very easy to read. But specifically, the tension in this is great, and I am invested. Egao, you gotta leave me. Why are you leaving me hanging like this, yo? The next story is by Flies.are.spies. Brandy worked at a forsaken psychiatric hospital, months away from closing. Despite working in a dead-end job, a high demand and a low supply of nurses provided her with a sizable salary. Long white halls enclosed shiny blue, while sunlight cast long reflections across their polished surface, telegraphing their wavy substrates. An occasional squeak chirped from below Brandy's white work shoes as she roamed empty halls. Brandy was 26, beautiful, outgoing, and positive, but because of a last-minute dinner cancellation, her mind was caught in the negative crossfire of bitter thoughts concerning dating. While traipsing to her station to punch the time clock, she noticed a flash inside of the janitor's closet. She paused and studied the dark crack below the door with a tilted stare. Something rested on her shoulder. She glanced at the hand, tracing her gaze up the man's arm to the gray-bearded face smiling at her. The janitor's name was Mr. Rieger, and he smelled of pine sol. Being close to retirement age, his face was so thin it looked skeletal. "Is that closet light on a timer?" Brandy asked. "I don't reckon so," Rieger said, staring at Brandy's perfect rear, pinching his beard between crooked fingers. Brandy backed away, turning to face him. "Well, the bulb must have blown out because the light flashed. That closet doesn't have light, but it holds deep secrets," Rieger said, taking his eyes off her chest, meeting her gaze. "Well, I know what I saw." Brandy looked back at the closet, holding her open palm skyward, showcasing the closed door. "Closets are full of secrets. What if I told you every answer in the universe, any question you have about life, lies in that very closet? Would you believe me?" "That's a bold claim." Brandy was no fool. She understood secrets were intangible. How would intangibles live in space-time? Brandy pulled the door handles. Locked. Rieger jingled keys near his face. "It is true, but there is a catch. Once you learn the secrets of life's answers, you can never communicate with anyone. Ever." Rolling her eyes, Brandy sneered with sarcasm. "Well, gee, can I think about it overnight?" "Life's secrets can't wait long," Rieger said, pocketing his keys. "Okay then, bye," Brandy said, walking away, leaving Rieger standing near the closet with his broom and lingering stares. That evening, while braiding her friend's hair and watching I Love Lucy reruns, Brandy mentioned Rieger's arcane conversation with her friend Yvette. "Who's Rieger?" Yvette asked. "Mr. Rieger's the janitor at the hospital," Brandy said. "I would totally call him out on his shit. It would be a riot to watch the horny coot try explaining his man's quest for existential understanding in a cleaning closet," Yvette said, laughing out loud, unkindly. "I don't know. What if it's some Zen enlightenment or Buddhist wisdom?" Brandy asked. "Try it." "Yeah, but what if I could never talk to anyone again? See? That's the catch." "So, you think he's a creeper?" Yvette waved fingers at Brandy, casting decaffeinated hexes at her face. "You think that he's going to explain the secrets of life, then kill you so that you can't tell him? Ooh." Brandy slapped Yvette's hand and laughed. I'm too careful, but I'm dying to learn what he meant. Shit. The secret of life is a colossal deal. At first, I didn't care, but over the past few hours, I started asking myself hard questions. What happens when we die? Is there a heaven, God, afterlife? Well, looks like you have choices to make, Yvette said. Is absolute truth worth losing your family and friends? Brandy offered no reply. Instead, she focused on Lucille Ball, studying her infectious laugh as credits rolled over the television screen. Monday Eve. After everyone vacated the office building, Brandy loitered at the closet as Mr. Rieger approached, staring at her behind. How do I know the secret is real? Rieger scratched his filthy beard. Well, if the secret is not real, then you'll know and you can tell all of your friends how crazy I am. Either case, it'll be a hoot, don't you think? But what if you decide to hurt me? Miss, I can kill you right now. And this closet is no less safe than a deserted psych ward, Rieger said, backing away, providing space, holding his palms out to offer reassurance. Brandy weighed his words, realizing his point was valid. Also, there was no way that Rieger could prohibit her from telling her friends what she saw in the stupid closet. It was silly. Like he said, if he wanted to kill her, he didn't need her to enter a cluttered utility closet. None of it made sense, yet her curiosity brimmed because of the absurdity of it all. Did he really hold the secret to life in the mop sink? Open the door, Brandy demanded. Mr. Rieger jingled the keys. He wiped spittle from his parted lips and unlocked the closet door. Backing away, his lustful eyes coveted Brandy as she reached for the knob. Light from the hall failed to penetrate the dark space, defying known laws of physics. Peering inside, Brandy squinted to define the shapes of brushes, buckets, and brooms. Rieger nodded his head, gesturing toward the closet. Come in. Just remember, you will never be allowed to tell anyone about this. Brandy took 3 steps before turning to see Rieger jump inside, slamming the door behind him. The space was blindingly dark, and thick walls absorbed outside noise, amplifying Rieger's lustful breaths. Ouch! What are you doing? Rieger asked. Blood ran down his leg, coating the floor with slippery goo, saturating them both with rusty metallic odors. The old man fell, moaning in agony. What did you do? Why? Nothing good happens in closets, and you're right about one thing. I cannot tell anyone about this, Brandy said, clutching a large folding knife, laughing like Lucille Ball. Now, I'm going to carve into you like a ripened swine. Well, that did not go the direction that I thought it was going to go. Either way, though, it still follows the other comment that I had floating around while I was reading it, where this feels like the start specifically, like the prologue-ish of a film, where it would set the mythology behind something that happened in this psych ward / in this hospital, that would then create the story in which everybody else in the hospital would be responding to like 20 years later. This just feels like the beginning of a horror flick or a thriller flick, specifically maybe a psychological thriller, because then you're going to end up with the old nurse that has been there since she was like 25 and never got a date because she was kind of crazy and was luring people into her closet to murder them, and who knows what else they were doing with it. But the tension is very interesting. Also, great dialogue. Again, great with the dialogue and the tension, and the also switching up of, like, you're suspicious of this dude because freaking Rieger is a creeper, obviously, from the very beginning. No subtlety at all, bro. You gotta watch that game, especially if you're gonna try to trick ladies into a closet. It's not gonna turn out well for you, bro. It's just not. So, very nice. The next story is by RSAlessi. There's nothing anyone can do about John. HR had been consulted, a memo was sent, but the problem persists. It's not like we can ask him to move. He occupies the worst workstation in the office, a desk in the hall right next to the mailroom and supply closet. Whenever a better cubicle or office comes up for grabs, he passes on it. Darn. I need a box of binder clips, Chris says. I should have grabbed extra the last time I was in the supply closet. Can you get me some pencil lead while you're in there? Sally asks. 7mm HB. I'm fresh out. I have no idea what that is. You'll have to get it yourself. Sally huffs. Whatever happened to chivalry? Went out of style 50 years ago. Chris trudges down the hall toward the supply closet. No one will say exactly what it is about John that sets us on edge. He doesn't smell weird or talk politics. He doesn't make loud personal calls on his phone. He wears flannel shirts with baggy cargo pants and suspenders, which is tasteless, sure, but it conforms to the dress code. That's another problem with John. He's a model employee. He shows up early and stays late. Clients like him. He does good work. Despite how we feel about him, his job is secure. Halfway down the hall, Chris reaches the point of no return. The dreaded alcove, 10 feet from the supply closet. Makes no sense to put an alcove in the hall, or a desk in the alcove, but there it is, and there's John, all 5'6" of him, as wide as he is tall, broad-shouldered and barrel-chested with a bushy red beard that screams lumberjack, not lawyer. "Hello, Chris. How's it going today?" John smiles, friendly-like, his teeth gleaming a touch too brightly. Chris tries to match the smile. "I'm doing okay. Just getting supplies from the supply closet. You know?" "Mm-hmm. Hey, I just finished my coffee. Since you're up, would you mind getting me a refill? 3 pumps of French vanilla, same as usual." Sure, John. I'd love to." And that's it. Chris refills John's cup. When Chris comes back to his cubicle, loaded down with boxes of assorted binder clips, Sally is waiting for him. "What do you want this time?" "Coffee." "And you got it?" "Yeah." It's not right the way he bosses us around. What really bothers them, what no one will say out loud, we all do exactly as John asks, without question. "You want to get that pencil, lad?" Chris asks. Sally stands. What choice do I have? Half an hour later, Sally returns. I collated reports for him. Damn. The next day, Sally popped her head over the cubicle wall. Phil from accounting says Mr. Davenport's on his way down. He needs a box of pens and he's getting them himself. Mr. Davenport is a partner in the law firm. Normally, he sends his legal assistant to get the supplies he needs. "We've got to see this," Chris says. Sally and Chris peek over the cubicle wall. They have a clear view of the hall leading to John's desk. A minute later, Mr. Davenport rounds the corner. "John wouldn't dare," Sally says. "Just you wait." They watch Mr. Davenport stop beside John's desk. After a minute of conversation, John stands, shakes Mr. Davenport's hand. The pair walk toward Sally and Chris, who duck low and return to their seats. John winks as he passes. "Good afternoon, Sally. Chris." The next day, John's desk is gone from the hall. The rumor mill reports that he moved into the office next to Mr. Davenport's. He's made partner. "Well," Sally says to Chris over morning coffee, "at least now we can get to the supply closet unmolested." What a fun story. I like that a lot, actually. Just kind of the... Look, that's such in my wheelhouse of the stuff that I like to do, which is just casual sort of mysticism or stuff that's kind of eerie, but it kind of just fits with something that's going on here. And you're like, what is happening? Why? I love this kind of stuff. And John just seems like a nice dude. Kind of sus in some way. Something is clearly going on with this. But he seems like a nice dude so far. I am very interested. Also, I just like your pacing, RSAlessi, when you do your stories. But this is fun. I also, like you do, kind of the subtle mysticism generally. That it reminds me of when you did the slot machine, which I really like. Which also, I'm going to be like, once I eventually launch requests for submissions for the anthology Raw to come out of Steakhouse, I would be like, please revise that and like submit it to go into Raw, because I would love to include that story in the publication. Anyway, I don't know when that's going to happen, but I'll let you know when it does. So thank you so much. That was so much fun. I love the kind of stuff that you guys come up with. I love seeing your work, and I love getting to direct people to you after finding more fun stories and fun artists. You guys are the best. So if you enjoyed the stories, guys, check out their links in the description down below. Let me know which of the 3 stories was your favorite this month, and if you would like the chance of being featured on this channel, check out the LMIAY for next month. Looking forward to seeing what you guys can do. Have a great week, and don't die. Hello, boomers. My name is Yanananana.
In case you didn't know, I'm a YouTuber from Nide, a small town in eastern Ukraine. My family has never really understood what I do in the woods, but all I've ever wanted is to make a better life for us all. Papa always comes home from the mines angry, dirty, and tired. It's a necessary evil to do your job and be in a place that you don't want to be. But I've never wanted to spend my life doing exactly what was necessary of me. Yanni, there's someone here to see you. Americans. Americans? Yeah. Good morning. My name is Tom Cruise. This is my partner Bob Dylan, and we are big fans of your work. You're a couple of boomers. Actually, I'm a Gen Xer, but I digress. We'd like to sponsor you. Sponsor? What does that mean? We'd like to supply you with a couple of things to, help your channel explode. Who is it? Jan Bagan. Good. For a moment, I thought you were one of the Katsap looking for trouble again. What do you mean? They say they're looking for a terrorist. They want to declare war. What point is there to declare war? Human beings are simple creatures. You understand what drives humanity? You understand all human motivation. There's someone out there doing something bigger than your internet videos, and they won't hesitate to use you as a scapegoat. The Russians are begging for a reason to declare us hostile so they can take everything we have. Don't give them that reason, Jan. I should just go home, like Boris said, but I checked the video I posted last night and it has over 500 views. I'm going viral. I don't have a choice. I must produce another video. The jar I'm holding slips out of my sweaty palms. I can't waste any more time and go back for it. I grab my tripod saying sorry, while I keep moving. The jar explodes. I'm deafened by something so loud and powerful it seems unreal. Jan, did you see that? Where the hell have you been? You mean the explosion? Yes. That was me. You needed to not do this today. You don't understand, Alex. I had to do it. I had to get the views. You're going to get yourself killed, Jan. No. They're looking for a terrorist. And how do you look different than a terrorist? I'm not trying to hurt people. Ignorance of war will not stop bullet from straying into your head.